Let's talk first about the general idea behind what Ricci is supposed to do. What is the main benefit or the main added value that someone buying this is going to see right out of the box?
So I think there will be a lot of things. It's an AI robot that's designed to be a human-robot interaction platform. So it can move its head, it can move antenna, it can basically share a lot of emotion with the user, but it also has sensor. It has a camera, it has a microphone, it has a speech, audio speakers built in. And so our general idea is that you can plug this model with, all the new AI models we've seen right now, which can generate speech, which can digest image, which can understand what you say. And we think there is a need right now for a very accessible platform for people to start building this human-robot interaction.
So as people sort of get this device, and the idea, obviously, of it being open source, being, I guess, set up in a way where you kind of have that crowdsource ability to tinker with this thing and make it better, what do you think would be the advancements that we would see most soonest, I should say, most immediately?
So you have to picture this as a device that can be used in many, many ways. So it will ship as a kit, a little bit like Lego. You can build it. You can build it with your kids, with your family and friends. And then it will be provided with a couple of apps already. And I think one specificity as well is that you can run this app locally. So you don't have to actually send data in the cloud if you want. You can also use it, but you don't have to. And so it will ship with a couple of apps. We've already been developing internally fun games where the AI interact with you in a fun way. But what we expect and what we're really excited about is to see the community create new apps, right? So we'll provide a SDK that make it very easy to make new behavior. I don't know, if you're cooking, you put it next to you, and maybe you want to design it as a little cook assistant that comments your cooking, and maybe give you tips for your recipes. And then once you build this, you actually want to share with the community, and that's where the power of the Hugging Face app is crazy, because you can just actually upload this, and it's automatically became accessible to all the other robots. Another user can point on your robot's cook space and use it locally.
I am curious, with regards to robotics, why don't you think we've seen more either open source or open weighted business models in this space?
It's a good question. I think a lot of people have been focusing on these very expensive humanoid robots, right? And the price tag for this is obviously more in the $80,000, right? And so here it doesn't make a lot of sense, I think, to do them open source right now. But when you picture something much simple like Ricci Mini, which still has like 10 motors in it and it can do quite a lot of things, but it cannot walk, for instance, then you're making it open source, kind of value much more the type of behaviors you can build and how the community can use it, and the community that can actually tweak, play with it is much wider than humanoid robots. So I think that's one reason we're maybe the first to tackle this segment.
I know this product's just getting off the ground here. This is primarily designed and made in the United States. And I am curious that as you expand this product and any sort of descendant products out of it, how are you going to navigate, let's just say, a somewhat topsy-turvy trade and tariff environment that has sort of disrupted where you source things and even to some extent where you can sell things?
That's a good question. We've been surprised, actually, because obviously the US market was our first market. And I think we are nearing 1 million revenue on this product already after just a couple of days. And I think 60% roughly of it is out of the US. But you see, 40% is from the rest of the world, right? With Europe first, but then also Asia and South America leading after that. And so I think for us, it will be interesting to see how we can source some of these parts more locally and see if we can actually maybe build this robot in various places of the world and take advantage of the simplicity in a way of some of its design.